This is going to be another quick and small stream of Disco Elysium. I simply enjoyed it too much last time, and I want to continue it. I'm making this stream basically just to have something online. I'm playing this game just because I love it. Okay, without further ado, let me start it. Of course, if it wants. Yeah, there we go. We are good. Yeah, I find it extremely relaxing, and I think after, a day of work, just chilling, sitting back in your chair and playing this from a controller, it's perfect. Also, the voice of the narrator, just, oof, I love it. Also, thing bugs me. Why didn't they add some sort of sound effect? Or forget our thoughts. Yeah, the issue here is if you forget a thought, from what I understood, you cannot remember it again, I think, right? Okay, gem you. Okay, so I went quite all in from what I can see on thoughts. Okay, let me think. I also want to talk with her a little bit more.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
This is a white check or a red check? I think this is a white check, right? You can tell that by the black background. Why is it important? Because I think that uh, white checks can be retaken while red checks cannot. I don't think I ever met a red check until now. I'm thinking that red checks might be specific to certain situations.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Oh, I'd be delighted. That would be the giant of Kokonur. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes. A mirage or a psychogenous luminance. No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision. The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others, fate unimaginable. That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes. Cryobacter catlensis. Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kutla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago. The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history. Michanu disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life. Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea. Yes, and she's quite mad, too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream. The gnome of Jeroma. Oh, it is. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die. Alas, no. And the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science. Yes, it's the kind green ape, half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo. Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva. Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight. Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor, and that evolved parallel to our own, just like your partners. In everyday speech, human isn't really a scientific category. For all legal and ethical purposes, your partner is a person just like you, so you might as well think of him as being human too. Some argue that the kind green ape should also be thought of as human, especially because it has shown itself to be so humane. I don't dare form an opinion one way or the other without more information, though. What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are. The Col de Mamadaqua, or thin whisper of sound. And that's precisely what it seems to be. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. It's very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Kola Mamadakwa can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. The Col de Mamadaqua makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know. Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory. It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights. Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, A group of areopagi ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out when playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range. They noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds. The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat call. They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Coldamamadaqua. They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them. Sequester, Time, Joscan, those are but some of the Mamadaqua they followed individually. That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction. They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mamadaquas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
Psst. They cancel each other out.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population. After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Coltamamadaqua population anywhere. What about what? I'm glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of them. You should ask my husband if you get the chance. He's the real expert. Of course, dear. Is there a particular cryptid that you're interested in? I'm glad you like them.
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. Losers. Who told you that? Fine, yeah. It looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's at all related. Plenty of assholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know so I can forward them the repair bill. Yes?
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Yeah, no. Not going to piss him
You
off.
see a heavy steel door, the cobalt, old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years.
I think I already spoke to this guy in order to get more information out of him. I think I need to pass an authority check. And unfortunately I have only one to authority, so try again tomorrow, I guess. Or wait, can I select a specific guy with whom to talk? No. Because it's so big, well done. I guess I'm going to pay the rent for the night. Then I'm going to
Can
take
I
a
help
shower
you?
because I think I have a quest.
Got the 20
do that.
real?
Yeah.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Yes, unfortunately. Yeah. I got it.
This door can only be. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. This is not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. Ah, that soap scum smell. It smells like life, at least compared to you. The bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons.
So I had to pass a check just to take a shower. Okay,
The
take a
water
bath.
is only lukewarm, but still comforting, like amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bobbing up and down along your flanks, like sad duckies. Now you are alone with your thoughts in the tub. But you see the corpse. You can still smell the cadaver on you. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. Then, houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature. Your fingers grow pale and are covered with tiny whirls as the water cools. The waterline recedes as you stand. You are cold now. Your clothes stick to your still moist skin. A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Let me see, I think I had some things on that decreased my interfacing. Or not, I think I was mistaken.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts into place. You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops. Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it. The fan is spinning.
So at 9 I think I can interview a potential witness. Until then, I guess I'll have to, I don't know, do something else. Let me check and see what other quests do I have. Yep. got it. Okay. So quest-wise, I think I did everything that I could do. So I'll leave it out and check the map. There we go. There was a way in which I could pass time, but I cannot remember what. Oh yeah, I could stay on the bench, I think.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. You finally stop picking your nose.
Stop picking your nose. Well done, my guy.
Guillaume Le Million. Bad news. Guillaume Le Million did not become a cop. In 38, he went on a tour to the Sinyao province in Safre, where he died of autoerotic asphyxiation. His body was found hanging from a decorative dragon tree in his junior suite, amid drug paraphernalia, unwholesome objects, and the Sylvia Trainer single, Wonderland, skipping in the background. And yes, you can take this as a metaphor for Revachol in the 30s, and also as a warning.
All psych. Learning caps are raised by 1. And I also get 1 to pain threshold. Huh. Ooh, if it's 1, then can I increase my volition? Yeah, this one stays. I definitely want this. Nice. Perhaps I can even increase my authority. You know, I have a lot for suggestion. Yeah. This was a good one. This one remains. This stop. Also pain threshold. Yeah, this is the one. Nice. Civilian social economics. Man, can my guy have a lot of thoughts? Okay, I think I am going to make these over the night. Because as you have seen, thoughts are quite cool. So I'm going to open one more slot and put this one in. Now I'm going to wait 15 more minutes on the bench. Come on, guy. You can do it.
You sit
There
on
we
the
go.
wind. The twiddling barely keeps your hands warm again.
Now let's go and investigate that guy. Also, I'm going to search pretty much everywhere. Just to see if anything changed. Since, as the hint said, most of the people go to sleep after 9 o'clock. So the kids are still out. Which is a little bit weird, but... I think it was this way. Oh, what is this? I think it was the first one. Like, out of these. There we go.
This door is made of metal. No one answered. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back tomorrow evening.
So tomorrow evening. Okay. Let's go in to try and talk to Joyce, and if not... Wait, what did she do?
Hello again, officers. Oh, not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Yes, I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. Does anyone in a city like this? Shoot, Piggy. It's what...
Whatever. I don't think I like her.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? I'm afraid I can't say any more until we've taken... Of course, the situation is extremely volatile.
Okay, so I could pass a suggestion check. Okay, let's have at least 3. Yeah, let's go with this. And then we'll see. I'm fine with this for now. No, revert. 1 is enough.
You're back. Good. That's the man who was killed. Better not tie the fourth date. I'm afraid I can't say any more and...
Feelings.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this. Trust...
She's silent.
Officer. You know...
You're doing...
I'll be frank, or you can find your badge, which...
I refuse.
You're back. Good. I'm afraid I can't say any more.
Feelings will guide the way.
You're back. Good. I'm afraid I can't say any more.
She's a negotiator.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my...
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause. It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isla into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years. Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes, after they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter. North of here, yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, Every chain has its weak link, the lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local... Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
I
Her
think I know.
irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share... We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls. Well, here's your chance. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol, not the east across the river. How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of... It's true they drove a number of the local businesses to bankruptcy preparing for this venture. I've talked to a few business owners. It was quite the shakedown. But the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely. Then loaded on. The two might even be connected.
She simply nods.
Looking for something? Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to... Apples. Yeah,
He's given you the runaround. Let's be honest.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam. I'm...
Yeah, I guess that's the best we can do for.
The door is closed. Still nothing. The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball.
There's no dignity here. Only reflections of your body mass. Flashes of the day. You keep coming. You're just stuck here. In the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that? Sure you do.
At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears. People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your bearings. Rock and roll.
There we go, we have Kim back.
Yes? What do you want to know? What's there to say? It's just stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union make a mockery of law enforcement here. And now it's come to its natural conclusion. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But I assure you, I am not their finest or toughest with 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition.
So he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary.
Yes, I am an unrepentant spoilsport. Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. North of the interchange.
The silence carries.
Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Oh, so I guess my guy needs to be awake in order to research the thoughts. Fair enough. Let me see if I have Lieutenant Tsuragi with me.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
God damn it. So I think I'm going to go directly and explore the new area, because I'm quite anxious to see what I'll find. Oh, sweet.
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an
Let's see if it.
You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please,
Focus on one thing. Achieve it, then the next, he thinks. A banged-up motor carriage lies.
it appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it. The logo is too deep in the murky water.
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
I did not. But I'd say it has been here since last Saturday or Sunday. Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside. I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks. The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. Then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
Yeah. This is the best question, I
Well,
guess.
historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
God, I hope so.
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't.
Yes. Why haven't you?
It is a simple and rugged machine. Favor. Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Oh no, this is my vehicle. God damn it.
A precinct. Yes. A police precinct. Precinct 41. Your
Yep.
precinct.
A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. You feel like you're about to faint and fall off. No, just nope. Say no to this, Harry.
Yes, your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
Yeah, okay.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here. Of whom? I don't think so.
Perhaps inside
If
it
anything,
I can find my
you were
badge.
probably drunk.
Oh yeah, based on the bottles that are spread pretty much everywhere next to the car, he might have a point.
Detective, we don't. A rescue. I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at that is very unlikely. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes... Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything.
Things were going so well, we're just visiting merrily.
People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly. You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn.
Yep, perhaps
Yes.
I'll find my
Let's go take a look.
police badge, hopefully.
Mazovian
Oh, yeah.
Socioeconomics. 0.000% of communism has been built. Evil child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmazov fucked him over personally with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
Yeah, I'm going to remove it. You are out of here. Goodbye. Also, what is half-light? Threaten people. Yeah, I'm not like into that sort of thing, so sure. So now I'm tracking down myself, basically, figuring out what I did. Thank you very much, I found my badge, finally. Also this. Sure, calculus is pretty cool. Shares. Let's see how this looks.
Police badge on which you see the photo of a man.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information. You see a photo, a name, a rank. The man keeps winking at you with his green-gray eyes. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is what do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does. The badge in your hand
Harrier, that's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't. It's a wartime name, revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
It's meant to keep you safe from bullets, hunger, shrapnel, kidnappings, and
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
the badge in your hands shines as you rotate it.
Lieutenant W. Freighter. The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant. The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice.
Wait,
Thus
what?
you're a W. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors, out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant. Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the...
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which, in turn,
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, then a captain. Kings like satellite officers, you are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work. It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge. Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary. Good.
such a small yet precious thing.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown 4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
The pain in your chest tells you you were working yourself to death to earn that rank.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse.
Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. Suddenly, name. He knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big.
That's fair.
The badge in your hand shines as you rotate.
There we go.
This is it, the scene of the party, the fire pit, cigarettes, and not as such. I'm talking about what came after. Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles.
Looks like it. Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
Quick travel. Wait a second. Okay, got it. So can fast travel back.
You're not sure about the melody.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in close.
Then how does she know you're here?
I still have a golden ear. Come, come. Oh, welcome, police officer.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
No, you're not. I've seen you around here before. 12 years
Oh,
ago.
really?
You didn't raise any hell. You were quite helpful, actually. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an... No, not you personally. I
Okay.
meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them, he was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in it.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound. Maybe they are afraid because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here. As long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then. Because I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage. And not a lot of houses.
Parted
Or
already.
a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. Stay? Oh, that said, if lodgings is what you're looking for,
Free room?
I've got
What?
a free room in the shack. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. You can stay there. That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. We might not look like much, but they are ours. My kids grew up and left like they do. The house is long empty now. I
So
live in
should
the
I stay
small
and pay
side
20
attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep
20
warm.
points, 20 real per night, or should I stay here? Of course I'll stay here.
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the place.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
No, it's a little bit odd, but my room is already pretty trashed.
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless... Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the Pox. An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be. During the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium garden. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see. The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. And then there's the drunks. Sooner or later, you'll see for yourself. Don't have to look long to find these guys. Here, for you, no officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find. She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty. Of note, the old fish market up on no one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bus. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a long... What? You're one of those real estate people with big... Used to be a supply depot, we think.
Nothing is impossible, surely.
And now you know everything there is to know about this cook. Me? No one. Just an old... Now it's your turn, Mr... Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
I'll first check and see what this document entails.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 40 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
I should have seen it. Evra probably has eyes on us, but we could try to get other people to sign this instead of those listed. Or you could forge their signatures yourself. By the time he finds out, we'll already be gone.
The youth center cuts into the ocean. It's going to be awfully close to the already
Okay, so someone could be watching me. Well, then, can I get
The
into
door has seen.
I'll wait outside to give you some... After we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
The key turns.
So perhaps inside I can do my thing.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. With a confident flourish, you complete your forgery. What do you see on the signature line? Indeed, they look distinctly different and very convincing. These might as well be their actual signatures. But they're not, and the document will be nullified if they dispute it. That means all you need to do now is mail the signatures to Everart's accountant in La Delta. There was a mail delivery box in the plaza, near the corner of the bookstore. On the table, you see a bowl of water, a rough soap, and next to it, a small hand mirror. A straight razor soaks inside the wash basin. The water reflects back a vague image of a fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew.
Fine. Let's do this.
Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, you use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. They feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of the water reflects back a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look a little younger, maybe. An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to your clean-shaven face.
Okay, this place ain't that bad.
Hi, officer.
Factory balanced, Bakelite and stainless steel.
Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium. The sign on the street leading here is illegible.
Okay.
Has been since they built this place. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. And that was actually the second one.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts. Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot.
But not when you're in a tight spot.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check? It would put me in an early grave. Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. Guess I enjoyed the way he bled. Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better,
God damn
drunk.
it.
Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bottles, drugs also, lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
Oh, the drugs or the bodies? Drugs or the bodies?
Well, you're barking under the wrong tree then, officer. I have no interest in floaters. Seen enough of them in my life. Let's see. Who are you looking for? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like snowmen. Two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like. Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen? I don't think I know what these are. Aha! Two old guys have been... Right. Not only snow... Don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I get. Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Sure is. The Sun, I call her.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air. Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. The road is smooth and motley. Craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them. There's one bump on the road. Tragedy comes from the wheels of the wind moves the aerosol.
Hey, Tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole... So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures? That's the spirit. I used to shape reality into my image, a long time ago. Those days are over now. Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom's Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies. We are saving the world.
Please! Please don't go!
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, so now it's a pirate's life for me. It's you. You're Tequila Sunset. We've met before. Don't you remember?
No, you sure don't.
Maybe. You look like you want to know how. Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
The lieutenant's brow is furrowed.
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you will. Followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage. The time hath come! So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come. To which you replied, the time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things. Your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice.
The muscles in your right leg tense up.
We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences. We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you that. I'm not sure. I think you were the event. No, that's just what your mother called you. Ours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, how they're beautiful and also whores and so on.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct.
If you only knew.
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard.
Probably it's related to the promotion. Like my guy worked real hard to get that promotion. We got that, and somebody screwed me over for it. That might have caused his downward spiral.
No one's fucked me.
Abigail!
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one. You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style. No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to...
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
Yeah, you said that you'd really behaved unreasonably and failed to uphold your responsibilities as a representative of the coalition. You kept calling yourself a goddamn superstar who'd cleared 501 cases.
As you've already determined, The actual number is just over.
No thanks to the squares at the precinct, as you put it. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. It depends, really. Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier. So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me. Classy.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail!
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder / junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract val. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm. But the burden, 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. It did, with my trusty Sansarique tracksuit, but now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling.
His eyes are clouded.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them. Just then I experienced a moment of clarity. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company...
He pinches his thigh as if to check whether this reality is the reality.
So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a...
Why didn't you go to the authorities?
Yeah.
Well, at one point they came to me, but, you know, I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. The hobo lifestyle definitely has some perks, not having to pay rent, but that charm wears off pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're wearing a shit-stained tracksuit and spending your days picking tear. Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket.
A lost jacket? Sounds like a mystery you could look into.
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest form. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called
Invested
Thin
their money
Air
into
The
theme here.
artists were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit. Well, you know, sex sells. That's the first rule of advertising. Maybe you're right. Who knows? What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins. Randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM, to be associated. And then there's the smell. But you don't even want to think about that.
Wow, you're lucky.
That's because your paws are fucking my fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholic?
Hey, tequila!
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary.
I thought he was a cool cop.
Don't call Abigail.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve if I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask her. I'm all ears, Tequila. I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. Interesting. The tale I'm about to tell you is an urban legend particular to Martinez. That said, I first heard it from a former... There are many variations on the basic story, and the details often conflict. What everyone agrees on is that nobody knows the exact nature or identity.
Are you telling the story of the headless...
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. Summer of 44. 17-year-old Gertrude Het is walking home from a late shift at the harbor. It's almost midnight. She stops for a cigarette near the canal. Our heroine finds herself enjoying the peace and quiet the canal provides. What she doesn't know is that her peace is about to be shattered. From behind her comes the clattering of hooves. Startled, she turns around, and what does she see? What? No, I told you this is a Martinez legend. It's a man with no head on his shoulders, wearing a fawn tracksuit.
I thought that he rode a headless pig.
Well, there are many versions of this story, the most peculiar of which has the headless fawn rider riding on the back of another headless man. Yes. According to legend, young Gertrude Het had to endure years of psychotherapy before she was able to look at a horse or tracksuit again. And she's one of the lucky ones. Gertrude Het may have been the first to witness the headless fawn rider, but she wasn't the last. Oh no.
Tell him about the two feminists by the locks.
Fuck, Rosemary, they were dating. No one said they were feminists. Everyone always misremembering this stuff.
This wouldn't be the De Ponte Delgado case, would it?
What?
I've read the case file.
Right. Early autumn of 46. Ula de Pont and Eva Delgado are fishing near the waterlock long after the sun has set. The wind picks up. A sky already dark now blackens. Water starts falling from above. The first cold rain of the season. The women are caught in the downpour. They act quickly. Eva gathers the rods whilst Ula turns around to reach for the tackle box. When she sees something, her shriek is so violent that the residents of the nearby apartment building believe lightning has struck. But there is no lightning. Only a heavy downpour and the silhouette of the headless fawn rider. Ula makes a run for the shore, but Eva slips on a wet rock and disappears into the cold, cold canal with nary a sound. Her body is never recovered. Word on the street is that she, gave herself facial deconstruction surgery. Real grisly stuff.
That part, at least more or less, corresponds to the case file.
See? Told you. Anyway, that's the story of the headless fowl right. Well, Tequila, that's part of the legend. Some say he was an undercover cop who blew his cover and got beheaded by the vicious gang. Others claim he was a professional jockey who veered off course during a steeplechase, ended up in somebody's backyard, and got decapitated by an exceptionally taut clothesline. Personally, I think he was just some guy who hanged himself from a really tall tree. Coincidentally, at that exact moment, a horse happened to pass under him, and his beheaded corpse mounted.
For some reason, this does strike you as the most plausible theory of them all.
Isn't it? All the pieces fit together. Anyway, to each his own. You want to hear any other stories?
Hard to argue with that, I suppose.
That's the reality situation for you. You think you got a handle on it, yeah? Why don't you go eat shit, Tequila? There's no way you know a better one than that. Acid gnomes? Sounds like yeah? Why don't you... Giants? Yeah? Why don't you go eat shit, Tequila? Do you always try to pick the lamest option possible? No one knows.
He won't, though, because it's just a stupid legend.
Aye. I saw him one night when I was right shit-faced.
I actually do have one. Do you have anything to fortify old Doom Spiral? Tell me if you find any. You too.
Kingdom of Conscience. The Kingdom of Conscience will be exactly as it is now. Moralists don't really have beliefs. Sometimes they stumble on one, like on a child's toy left on the carpet. The toy must be put away immediately, and the child reprimanded. Centrism isn't change, not even incremental change. It is control over yourself and the world. Exercise it. Look up at the sky, at the dark shapes of the coalition airships hanging there. Ask yourself, is there something sinister in moralism? And then answer, no. God is in his heaven. Everything is normal on earth.
Volition raised to 5. Nice. And logic. Let me see. Logic. Yeah, I dig it. Volition and logic raised to 5. And also, yeah, it's a good one. I'll keep it. Basically, keep everything, anything that doesn't reduce.
The noxious odor emanates.
Don't you call her? Yeah? Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't call Abigail.
The man hiccups, then mumbles something. He snorts and beckons you.
Don't call Abigail.
There's no use in yelling at drunks.
The drunk man starts coughing. He does not sound well at all.
Don't you fucking call her! Don't call.
There was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway.
Good to see you, friend. So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it. You know what's crazy, actually?
He's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze.
What? This guy. Oh, this is medicinal spit. I got one of those scientific ampules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go. It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of help. Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on... But the idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead thingy. It's like 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila! What's left is this beautiful... 2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here. But this last one is yours for 3 real.
Don't say it.
3 real and it's your...
Well done. You got it.
For 3 real, to be honest. Sure.
Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend. Aye, by amphetamine I mean speed. Aye, that's what I said. Good, my man. Now what can I offer you? Oh, you see, friend, bought cigarettes, bought beer, even bought a bit of speed. And look at me now. I got everyone on my hook.
The hook? Where is it? I can't see it.
Permit? Who gives a shit? You want to buy something? Grease the wheels, buddy boy. In the civilized world, it's a custom.
The scruffy-haired little... The other one looks indistinguishable from him. This one doesn't say...
Lily's our mum.
The stone kicker laughs. The other one laughs as well. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden.
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. The rock kicker was just being shy. But
you're bad with kids. Maybe I am. Now, how about some actual police work?
The scruffy-haired little boy...
You're stupid. Okay.
You hold in your hand the colorful primer. The type... This book will show you the score. Get you oriented with those the alphabet. Every page has one word designating one letter of the alphabet. A is for azimuth. B is for Boreas. C is for cosine. D is for diamite. E is for ellipse. F is for phlogiston. G is for gamut. H is for homeboy. I is for econ. J is for Eura. K is for collapse. L is for laudanum. M is for myriad. N is for nadir. O is for aureole. P is for perihelion. Q is for quasar. R is for rhododendron. S is for sinus. T is for tricolor. U is for ultra. V, that's it. You know the alphabet now.
Good. I also know the alphabet.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Yes, I am. Little Lily. That's nice. My mum is great. Yes, they look the same. They look identical. It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace the broken scooter you almost certainly broke.
I don't know. Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. Oh.
Where did you get this?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
What house?
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid.
We're going to need those gloves.
Oh. They're in my sandcastle.
Sandcastle.
Behind our house.
Okay.
Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good.
That was very kind.
It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days.
Lammy usually doesn't like strangers. But you're also fuzzy, like Lammy. Bye!
Okay, so there should be a sandcastle.
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
As you fold your fingers into a fist, you realize you could knock anyone. Your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away. The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and voluptuous, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even part 2. Are you sure you're correct there? There was a helmet too. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one
Correct. Meaning this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic. The manufacturing and sale of automatic.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the crack. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least. Their heads lowered and 10 meters away. Other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. The sun blazes high up in the sky, baking the planks, the sand, your skin. A long time has passed since the abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with a host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions, and they stand, facing the wall. It's 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from the commandant, the one who gives the order.
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the civil. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down.
Or maybe.
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant.
A cold sea.
Go. Nice and easy. No way out, little.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is.
Who's there? Oh.
His self-conscious enthusiasm renders his movements ungainly. He looks like your understanding of a scientist.
Is that the police?
What? Don't worry, Gary. To what do I owe the pleasure? Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken. We can't go all the way around the 881. You broke the water lock with a motor carriage? There was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait.
His hands are large and weather-worn, but also used to delicate
Well, good question. Being a phasmid of the end, I suspect it may have also developed other special. It's my hypothesis that it has evolved, but I cannot describe how these defensive. I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So, typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures, even simply catching a glimpse of the very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based. Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no...
I know it's real. By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition. Yes, the most recent sighting. It's the first credible sighting in several... I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After... Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions. Yes, the Insulindian phasmid.
There's nothing dispassionate about the way he talks about the insect.
Well, yes. Simple. Attract, at least, that's the intent. Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny...
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as...
The traps do seem to be deftly and
Yes. What? I've just always liked animals, and it's not child's play. Just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often. Real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone... My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply... No, as I said, I have yet to catch...
Interesting. Something for later, this close call.
Everything from forgotten... No. Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long. About 2,002 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of Yes, the Chateauquin forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Hugo Grad. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, in fact, it is 0.05%. Ever more magnificent, should our search... Yes? All right.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it. You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena, or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
I see you've been talking about cryptids with luck. We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. The search was fabulously unsuccessful. But the people were...
What? South Safra? They're just on a different rung of the...
Really?
They're a nascent culture. I just didn't feel comfortable. And let's change the topic, okay?
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid? The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant. Yes. The dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. Just like an ordinary ardent moose. You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful. And hard to identify.
Of course you do.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more.
A detective. Pardon me, I did not wish to seek conflict. It's simply my training to question things.
Understood, Lieutenant. That's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes? Of course you haven't. I haven't had a chance to travel to Coco Nor. No. And I likely never will. I fear this mindless...
It remains unclear what this has got to do with you seeing it, as he was inquiring before. He was...
Oh, everyone knows about that one. Although, probably because her life ended as a flightless cursor owl found in the Seminine Isles. When it's not hunting its prey in its... Mijanu liked extreme animals, you see. Oh, decades ago. in the 30s. I didn't know her by all means. By woman. You mean my wife, right? My wife understands that. Just
Come on, Morel. We've been so...
and leave the traps.
Come on. She wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crab.
I'm doing this for science. And so, of course it's important to her.
She's seen it?
Yes. That's how we first came to know one another. Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the No.
I could go for some trap setting.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research. Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is... That's highly unlikely, officer. But in here, it's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should have... Wise choice.
I hope you're not buying this. It dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy...
It is precious. A single dose costs... There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula. Another we set in Land's End. The third is set near the canal, where you cross. You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this? Is it? Right. Which means you two can pack up and go.
Finally!
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp.
What about his eager-to-leave friend Gary there?
Hello, Yellow Man.
The Lieutenant Yellow Man. That sounds...
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here. Oh, I didn't mean it in any scientific way. Oh, so that's what the RCM is.
So you do know?
No.
He's not feeling very comfortable.
My mug?
His eyes widen at the sight of the mug. He's seen it before, all right.
Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to it. Maybe. Okay. Yes, I did. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer. Whew. Thank you. I don't know what got into me, really.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law. Officer, please. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. Okay. I was coming to throw the...
Right. It was just...
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Armor? No. I mean, yeah.
There's something going on here. You should observe it.
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, so I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is... I'm sorry, okay?
Disgraced. No need for the histrionic, sir.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
I hope I could help your...
Wait, does this mean you've been in his apartment? On Everart's behalf? That was his colonial mug collection. Perhaps this could soften him up further.
No.
There probably is a follow-up to this, but you can't think of any.
Not many Sealites here. Or anywhere. No problem at all. Sure do.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
How? But why were you in my apartment, officer? So you work for Everard Clare? What have I done? He'll say...
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
Whatever it is, tell him I'm silent as the grave. I won't do it again. If there's anything...
This scared him proper. He's positive.
The weather vane has turned. he cannot be unturned.
Always, I mean, officers.
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing. It sounds like he's wearing some kind of armor under his...
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I was ashamed of what I did. And...
Gary! What's...
Later, Morale!
No, you've got explaining to do.
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground. Only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early.
It's okay. It was a loose end.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell... Because I was weak.
The hell, Gary?
I'll explain later.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A query, but so light to hold.
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again.
Yes? Yes?
It's because you're the best.
Yes?
It's because you're the best quality.
Yes?
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late wearing piss-stained disco garb.
I've considered it. It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working, so no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise. Yes, I don't know what to say. Perhaps I'm not really sure about this turn of events.
Damage.
Either way, good on you. You were saying? Excuse me? You have a distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegial They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants.
Yes, but containers contain things. Shiny things. They're interesting. He simply nods. There's a trap in the reeds behind you. The locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused, but...
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. Surely. Anyway.
You see, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling.
Nice to meet you.
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting...
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there's... Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once...
Hold on. What's R&D?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. You're probably more familiar with RT...
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead. It looks old and weathered.
That's not surprising. Only a they started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But felt it was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed an elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. revolutionizing, which is a feat of engineering. Even today's giants, Rehm, Icien, and Zam, have.
He assumes something like a combat stance.
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Well, yes, they even built a
pleasure wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers, they used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being, what's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created... It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombecer. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. 10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition.
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center? And who?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort, and but perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionary setting fire to this precious device. Yes, the official name of the prototype. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, but of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here. Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I'm just spending time with my...
Not that he would have to worry about being robbed. He looks surprisingly buff.
I do some Lomantang stick fighting now and then. It's an anthropological heritage of the Lomantang people. A martial art of sorts, but what not a lot of books mention is that it also carries a cultural significance. Interestingly enough, brings us to the socio-economic structure of the traditional and rural tribes of the... But anyway, I'm boring you with details again. You were saying. Then I guess everything got said, right? No, thanks to you.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. Dripping water falls from her. There's rust and corrosion on the bars.
No, I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad. Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but
His hands lead the way when it comes to that. Someone has left an unidentifiable article. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that it seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it. into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned.
The smell. It's awful, and it doesn't help. Keep it in now. Don't overreact. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. That something cold wakes it. It is death. It must be. The lieutenant has already...
Oh.
There's some tear. Two empty bottles of Toulouse. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor.
A tragedy.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as it's no older than a day. It's hard to concentrate it.
Is he alive?
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural. The smell is...
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer.
Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. There's some dried blood on the metal bench. Right. Be very, very careful where you step here. A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap.
Tear all around us.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves, the blackness of death. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol. I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bed.
They screech under your feet ominously. You see waves churning below. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole. The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a... The leather jacket suits him well. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels sodden.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench.
Oh, okay.
Coagulated blood covers his black hair. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look height 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build, age approximately.
Looks like one of the locals. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think? And he was married. But let's try to not run ahead. For death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. No, I don't see anything that points in that direction.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But keep it simple.
Oh yes. Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning. But I think that death arrived through head. What about it? The deceased ate some kebab.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. Not that sealing it off would keep it. It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure. From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues. A field autopsy isn't necessary. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least. Maybe, but we don't really have much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest. Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station for Mikey.
As you hold it in your hands, it's a sordid feel. Some secrets are better left uncovered. It occurs to you that you're not even. It smells like a dead secret. Somehow, it was the faint impressions of many footprints are also present. Though it's impossible, the crust is hard. It's too late. You've already thought about it. And now, what? No. The library card is folded into two. And still, Billy is a unisex name. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Most of these titles seem to be in the side. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005.
Good. We should give them a call for Mikey Nema. See.
Good idea. There's some tear. A metal payphone under. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable. Calling. Still. End of tone.
Pierre? Is that...
Say you're not Pierre. That seems like a better idea. You don't know why.
Do you have any news about Pierre? He's my sister's grandson. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country. This is because we are bred. I just...
Disconnect tone. Calling. Still someone.
Hello, Gerard speaking. What are you, like, fun? Thanks for...
Phone. Disconnect tone. Calling. Still.
Stop calling me, man. I'll get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work. Test this.
Disconnect. Calling.
I'm tired.
Sounds like he hasn't talked to anyone in quite a while.
Writing. I hate writing so much.
The man disappeared. You do not hear the customary disconnect tone. Seems like it did not have time to swallow the coin. Lucky you. The call went too fast for the payphone to register. You close your eyes and... Strange. This is not how you started before. 41441117. Yes. 451-6451. You have dialed God knows how many numbers. The headset has been waiting silently to relay a signal. An ultra-long distance call. Your air fills with a crack calling. Calling still. The handset starts slipping from your sweaty palm. The lieutenant is too far away to calling. Then the ocean breaks.
Hello? Who is this? No. It's you, isn't it? Dora.
In the distorted distance, you hear someone turning next to her. No answer. You're not sure, but you think you hear a man's voice in the background. It's covered in...
You're not ominous, Harry. You're drunk.
You only have 2, maybe 3 things left to say before the change runs out.
Because it's me. Look, I don't understand what you're saying or why you're calling me. You seem drunk. Oh, God. Do you know what time it is? It's 4 o'clock, Harry. I need to wake up in 2 hours. I'm in Morova, sleeping. To work. The academy, where I work.
No response, only a sigh. The connection crackles like burning paper. She does not answer anymore.
Harry.
Disconnect tone. The machine ran out of money. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the surface is smooth, feels exceptional. 300 tons of pine would fit together seamlessly. It's old too, cut and carved many centuries ago. The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached. Should you want to get through, it might be easier to just pry the whole thing off.
Maybe we should circle the building first and look for another way. The building has seen enough mistreatment. Yes, the pulsing base. A sure sign of junior delinquency.
There's something on the sea ice there. This cheap-looking pack, it'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. You see a yellow circle with 2 X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. He takes off his glasses and uses...
No. Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency. For Revachol ZOC, these acts aren't called crimes as they would... I haven't seen that sticker before.
Thus, it must be made by youths. There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb. Looks like today was a gold star day. An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand.
It's military. A service depot. The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo.
A familiar apparatus. The reeds, the wind picks up here, near the cape's end. Surrounding the narrow strip of this trap is also full of
Another empty trap. Yep. The next one has a crab trapped in it. These are just crab traps.
Nothing's. You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody? What? Kim? No, think about the seagull's story. It's one of then their paradise became shit sit. No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit, own it. Steal hot dogs. Shaggy looking.
Oh.
Everyone knows drugs make.
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you.
So should you. Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, well, Look, man, I'm sorry I said fuck the hat. My whole family swears and it rubbed off. A cell.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing. There's
Why? Okay, it's Burger.
a very common name.
This is a portable recording. Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the break. A contact mic records sound.
Nice. You could maybe bug someone with it. Wiretapping.
The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. Same place I got the recorder from. Oh man. You haven't been to the Palaceum? It's the coolest place in this whole... It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop. Oh yeah. Guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Palaceum going kind of person. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means either. That's cool. Sucks, man. Okay. Recording, I guess. I think I'm recording cracks in the ice.
What happened to the old headphones?
My boyfriend sold them. I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious.
The musicians in the Palaceum used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
The sharp drop in endorphins is almost visible, like a warm...
Take this, you're cold.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that.
It's okay.
Go ahead. Okay. Hello again. Recording, I think.
What happened to the old headphones?
I don't know.
A lie.
The musician. Anyway, I don't really.
The sharp...
Take this.
No, man.
It's okay.
Thanks. That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum or something.
And who are these boys?
Yeah. Andre and the guys.
And why is that?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. No, music stuff mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And yep, they were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those. That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Go ahead. It's supposed to become like a club, except that, yeah, you know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments, synthesizers and tape consoles. I know, it's not my idea. Hey, don't get me wrong, but you're cops, right? Okay, well, maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. No, not really, no. It's noids. Yeah, I guess you could say that. To keep more weirdos from getting in. Fucking Martinez. I'm sorry. It's got the worst weirdos. Go ahead.
Revacholian nationhood. The Revacholian state will be a serene place. You should get a drink. A beautiful, serene place of mystery and peace. It will not be a place for women to infect with their frailty and hysterics, or where the Seminese will be allowed to wear their pants around their ankles. All of that will go once you get a drink. The socialist professors at the École Supérieure will be fired. The editors of Trompe le Monde will have to beg in the streets. You'll pour beer into their begging hats and...
guess.
A pane barely holding it up.
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut. Well, hello. What a solid can of... Wow. The gods... There's a satisfying pop as the cap comes off. A golden sun melts down your throat. Its rays filling your nostrils with sunshine. Your stomach melts from it into a happy, gooey mess. So does your mind.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's an alcohol button.
From the void we came. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. Heavy wooden door. The padlock past. Should you want to get through, it...
Maybe we should circle the building first.
Nothing happened.
I don't think that's going to work.
A minute or so of mauling away at the...
I'm not as...
The doors remain unchanged. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. A minute or so. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. A minute or so. Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. You jam the pry bar between the pathetic... Suddenly, the pry bar snaps. Metal shavings fly everywhere. The upper half, between the lock and the staple.
Tools break, officer.
The broken edge of the...
I don't know. You don't? Or maybe we'll find a new one. I thought this was a lousy way to enter a place of worship.
This was surely just a freak accident. Nothing happened.
I don't think that's going to work.
tent.
Come on, get in it. Sorry.
You go ahead.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike dealing.
I'm sure you will feel right at home.
A young man with
Hardcore! It's hardcore! Skibbity, skibberdanger. I am the rearranger.
the young man.
This is hardcore. Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent. All core! All right! Yeah!
He furrows his brow as his
Hardcore! Ah!
Is it though? But is it? I mean, really?
I am the Mike Enforcer. I am...
You see, a young...
Hello, I'm Andre.
His grip is strong.
This is my posse. Noid.
The young man with earrings.
An egg. Egg! Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive... We have many, and you see, we've... Yeah, places. I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues. Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I'm talking about the church. And I'm not exaggerating. Even a place... Dubhead! Burnouts! Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on strikes, and sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there were the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an...
The spooky kind. I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. Also, they don't eat or clean. People just want to spin tapes with... Thank you, Egg. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be... All right, man. Oh, so you met her? I did ask Noid to install a measure... I had to do it in an hurry. Of course. All right.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece. Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approve. The speed freak nods to you.
Not long. Like a week, maybe? I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, okay, I'm sorry too. Me too. Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. The truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. Yes, there's also that when I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned. One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Andre, tell him about the feeling. Oh, and it felt like there was some... No! Which other one? Felt like silence. Awful. Not exactly. We've just seen someone, like you aren't alone. It wasn't quite. It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling.
What?
Like some kind of... Yeah, you know. The way it was climbing up and around the... It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behaviour. Crap, man! Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it.
So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he a friend?
You should ask her about it.
There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them.
With a small surge of PEA, alertness fills you, as if to say, this is a dark corner. Look behind it.
It means like one of those rich boy private radio stations. Not that we would know anything about...
He appears sincere enough, sire.
We're getting derailed here. In short, you can tell to Noid about the machines. Well, honestly...
Why not? Let's go with that.
I'm 70% sure they're Sure. What? He's a quiet man. Mostly, you know, a host. A declaimer of...
Interesting, sire. A bit like you, then. And...
Well, He's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate. Yeah, sometimes. When I, like, stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first, though.
The man smiles mysteriously. I get it. He's a puzzle.
Oh, yeah, that's a meteor, a name for the you know, of Meteo, concerning Meteo. Meteo, a country on Muindi, on the Muindi Isla. Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know, and they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericanassian. You're totally wrong about...
The Pericanassian church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. Love is hot.
Unit.
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base. Feels good.
Oh yeah, he's coming around. You're getting it.
Yeah!
Do it for the masses. Do it. I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to...
The one with the large head is still looking at you. Feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if, they get this club going.
Yes. What? Yeah, good to have. Oh, it's the one they sell at...
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold.
It does. Told you we have a smell problem. Ether? I don't know.
He sniffs that it doesn't take a forensic scientist. Unlike the girl outside, however, the boy's breathing is regular. Their jaws stay put.
The what now? Oh, the old Ultra.
He's like an actor.
I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Yes, that's all Nosefed's doing. Nosefed is the shit. Yes. What? The engine starting fluid?
Is the amiable speed freak becoming a...
What's with the goddamn Romangarod earrings?
Keep on it, sire.
I guess it does.
You're not completely satisfied yet.
No idea, man.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt.
As always.
Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. You're at home, stupid cop. Not with the art crowd. You hate them. Everyone hates them. Even they hate themselves.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Okay, so does...
Hi again. So, how are things going?
A number of things don't add. How about gather the young speed freak puts the one with their would-be leader is less amused.
But you still are.
What happened? That's a real downer.
The young speed freak is silent.
We don't need drugs.
Shut the fuck up, Egg. Climb down from the equestrian monument. We know she has a problem, man. What exactly is it you know? I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
What do you mean, friend? It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know that. What do you know about spinning tape? I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment. He said it was for his nose, and of all cellular-based life. Make up your mind. First is the sweat, then it's the ether. No shit. That's... Come on, that's... I meant to say, not true. What do you mean, do? Or else... Okay, man, okay. Things are just so hard for an entrepreneur in this city right now. It's not like we lied. Because we do. We just need to turn to get our foot in the door. Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police.
But the sign was way off too.
Whatever you think is right, sir. But please, we were only trying to make a living. We can continue on an amiable path, right? No more misunderstandings. Yes. What? The engine starting fluid? It's for starting in. I guess it does.
You're not
No idea, man.
He nods enthusiastically.
As always.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
As always.
So yeah, it's good you talked to Andre. Yeah, gotta compare. I suck at socialise. A sticker? You mean the yellow one? Seems like my creation of the dead guy smiling. He defeated history. We are living in the age of history, and in the present moment and life are the hardcore. Or maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just really... It should be sold, but not by... I guess one could right now. You heard me. Weird stuff, wires going into water. Nothing's wrong with it. Most of it doesn't exist. Sonic powers. The hardcore aesthetic is... I can see that. Further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve...
Back to the heavyweight. Hardcore! Hardcore! Hardcore to the meg. Internally coherent. Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yekokata, the place to be! It's the message, so listen. The club, true, hard, internally, all car, all right!
He furrows his brow as it...
Hardcore! Ah! The question is, what is the question? But there was no the club, true, hardcore, internally, all car, all...
He furrowed.
Hardcore. The question is, but there was a question. The close, true, hardcore to the mega, internally, all car.
He furrows.
Is it though? One mind, one spirit. The club, true, all car.
He furrowed.
Is it? But is it? I mean, really? No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even more so.
Lungs are for love! Love!
A dopamine surge accompanies the words. It feels like
No nation, but transnation! No war, but class war!
He's not a communist.
Yeah! With a rebel yell!
Don't be a lunatic.
Yeah!
Unless you were thinking Revershaw imperative, right?
Hardcore superstar! I can be a...
Please don't. Oh, jeez. Please don't do that. There's...
Aye! Capital rules the nation. Eats the poor.
you swear you feel the profit margins reflecting off Jermaine Egghead's giant smile.
There's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes I just feel like, and isn't something, it's like it's...
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore.
It is, isn't it? But how could it become harder core? I know the answer in my heart, but cannot sink it in my head.
If this is not hyper, how could anything be? Uh-huh. Oh. What? Guys, there's something...
As your mind works, the beat recedes from your ears. You hear your own blood pulse. The abstract shapes swelling in the foreground have the hardcore.
Oh, yeah!
But you're not. This is almost certainly a matter that's...
I know! So does mine! No! This is... Yeah!
Doc! Basically, yes it is.
Alright!
The large head,
Good morning, Tycoon! Yeah!
you know it in your lungs where the pressure
What? Wow, okay. We should start with the melody. But where would we get that stuff from? I'm sorry, I don't know anything about...
The young man falls silent.
Basically, what? Yeah. Anyway,
The Cup Man! Huh? I see you're here again.
The large...
Good morning, Tyke. Tape! Yeah! Righteous! No! No, can't do! Capital forever!
The shaggy-haired girl.
So you talked to my associates, right? Great. Let us know if there's any progress. Oh,
She's less prone to blurt it out.
okay. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down. He stopped right before he got to the...
Like a crab, you say?
It was too dark.
Come on. She obviously could.
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and
A crab and a bang.
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang. I don't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't my associates? Sorry. I just don't tell people. Me? I'm a silver bird. Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later.
Feels like you missed something here. What was that about a bird? Forget it. Maybe... Heavy wooden doors. The lock turned.
Let's go.
A great whoosh in the heart. In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands. This is her innocence. Dolores, cradled in her arms, are a pair of glowing lungs. Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There, you kneel among the snowdrifts. The woman looks down at you, kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, as that soft word passes through your mind. The lieutenant draws an X shape. Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile. sundered by the crack in the glass. It's a mystery. All you know is, this is the young mother. A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you. A ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one. And a text. Unknown. A motor carriage? A gunshot? Someone falling into it? Or maybe just hooligans looking for something to break. The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden Reichsapfel in one hand and a scepter in the small figures of wise men. Below both women, in luminous black letters, and then along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau.
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, justice, union, prudence, and force. Eyes cool.
The mother of humanism, Tower.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinez. It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted.
A machine stands.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on. We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case. It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream Prefect. A mod you see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. The lieutenant says nothing. Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filament. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater. The machine's key. The speaker comes to life. Static seeps.
Good afternoon.
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
Received. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today? I have 2 machines registered to this company.
Saint-Brune. That's the church. And Rue de Saint-Guylaine?
Anything else I can... Good.
The machine's keyboard. Nothing happens. The silence in this part of the church, it's maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be complete, and then it's gone. Or you can hardly hear your own breathing. You produce a few muffled thumps. Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl. The lieutenant points to his ears.
Can you hear anything? I wonder why the church was built with such strange acoustics.
The lieutenant doesn't reply, but the orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible. It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower. Yes, the darkness makes the ceiling feel it's not a shadow anymore. Becoming more...
Officer, is there something up there?
Oh no, you've lost sight of it. You see something hanging. Maybe it's possible to talk to it. The shadow is a man. A man made the crab man. The man leaned forward.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready...
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do you...
Hey, and what was that about? The bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Sheesh.
Está crudo, way. I see deep inside you. Your body and your spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence. Not all of it.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
It doesn't matter who I am, Way. This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here. Never known myself to be a crab. I always thought of myself more like a flame. I was in a gang, Way, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone. Nah, ese.
Do you remember your...
Tiago's my name. Your place amongst your fellas. Your place in the world. That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that. I circled it. Nurture. No. There's a new god in town. She is a cavity in the dark, beyond sense. She saved me. But I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and I heard that before, Way. And I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover? I know it will take time. Don't sweat it. I know it will take time. Don't sweat it. I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory. I ain't from no Marietti.
He lost his cool there for a moment. Seems you hit some nerve.
Hard to say. I think I been spending a lot of time here ever since.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams.
Police raid a while back.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy... No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just... That's what I said, Holmes. Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on... I'm afraid not, essay.
Or search through her radio computer.
Too many times, essay. You need it for something.
The lieutenant raises.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity, like the ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Nah, man. They look pretty fun. Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. Might even be nice to have some company. I think we're done here, essay.
That was, however, I'm...
The mother of humanity. The machine's keyboard is the speak.
Good afternoon. Votre accident. Good. Please repeat. Good. I have unlocked the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can... Good. Thank... Good.
The machine's keyboard. The printer prints out a long text document. The first entry made on the... Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for... Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local...
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotic. 7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Esca series.
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
For setting up a radio computer. 8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simor for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and...
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Something about the backup data getting destroyed. I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not...
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly.
Is she talking about?
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a...
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. That disco man must be a cell.
The girl on the ice?
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some...
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with the machine.
No. It was a great idea. You're learning things. March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping, ping, and your reading was interrupted by a strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
Yes, you are breaking in, but...
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
There are no coalition military data links. And even if there was, you couldn't access them over a civilian network. That's nonsense. You're just a police officer. Now please give me some room.
We should talk to her.
Advanced race theory. Everything is calm in the eye of the race storm. Your mind is lucid and bright. The mind-bending phylogenetics appear more distant and, to be fair, a little ridiculous. The great race mystery has cleared up. All that's left to do is verbalize your